gagapay sa'yo. Sa bawat hakbang na mapabuti ang bayan, prinsipyo at katatagan ang sandalan.
Sa mga balakid na iyong nalampasan,
Bilang ganti, sakripisyo mo'y
ito'y ginhawa, ginhawa po. Ito'y handog ng GSI sa'yo. Malasakit sa membro, mabilis na serbisyo, sandigan sa loob, sandigan sa loob. Ito ang ginhawa, ginhawa po. Ito ang handog ng GSI sa'yo. Isang tapat at mahusay na pamimilihan sa mga nagsisindi sa bayan. Ginhawa po.
Maginhawang buhay po sa lahat and welcome po dito sa ating I Am Secure Forum 2022 of the Information Security Officers Group. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Joey Regala, Chairman Emeritus, Archie Tolentino, our ISOG President, Chito Jacinto, our ISOG VP and Forum Chair, the rest of the ISOG officers, ISOG members, cyber leaders, and distinguished guests. Welcome po sa inyong lahat. I am John Pineda, I am from the Gsis, and I will be talking to you about the Metaverse and its impact in government. So to give a brief background of what Gsis is, we are a government-owned and controlled corporation. We provide social security, insurance and financial benefits to all government employees and their dependents, and we also satisfy the non-life insurance needs of the government. Currently, we focus highly on service excellence to our members and stakeholders, and these are our current channels. We do face-to-face interactions or servicing. We can service our members through kiosks. We can service them through web. We can service them through mobile apps. We can service them through social media, and we also use virtual meetings such as Zoom, Skype, and Teams, for example. Moving forward, we have to be thinking what the next channel will be, and this is where the Metaverse comes in. We can just imagine a new experience where our stakeholders, let's say a teacher, will just be doing or transacting things with GSIS from their home. It's like a convergence of the real world and the virtual world and putting it up all together. However, just thinking about it, it looks easy from the onset, but digging deeper, it may be a bit too complicated and a bit more risky than how it appears. So let's try to see or try to deep dive on that and see what can we learn on this new platform that we're looking at in the future. There's so much hype and potential on the metaverse. The things that we need to consider are the need to evolve. Of course, if everyone else is going to the metaverse, there's no other option for us but to go there as well. We need to go with the trend. This may provide new convenience on providing services to our stakeholders. It could be a more immersive platform than web, apps, or virtual meetings, right? Because right now, we're here, I'm just 2D, through a video, of course, and through the metaverse, we may experience better interaction, and of course, what we aim to achieve is better customer satisfaction. So what drives the metaverse? This was accelerated, as we all know, during the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, there's limited movement, limited interaction for the people. So tech companies like Facebook, which is now called Meta, and Microsoft, for example, they tried to blaze the trail for the metaverse to shift from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, for example, then there's this demand from our members or maybe from your customers for better service and better interaction. And finally, of course, there's always this financial motivation. Whether it's the one providing the platform, they intend to make money from it, or whether it's the one engaging the platform, and of course, they can always make money from there also. So that's a big motivator. But still, how do we get there? What are the things that we need, right? So is it just plain going on a VR headset and that's it? Are we there? So let's see. So I'll be showing to you a scene breakdown from one of the films, Ready Player One, which is popular for their environment in a VR world or a virtual world. We'll do the Oasis scene breakdown, and then from there, let's try to see the things that are needed to get into that virtual world, what you can do in the virtual world, and what can you expect. So let's move on.
I was born in 2027, after the corn syrup droughts, after the bandwidth riots, after people stopped trying to fix problems and just tried to outlive them. My parents, they didn't make it through those times, so I live here in Columbus, Ohio with my Aunt Alice. In 2045, Columbus is the fastest growing city on Earth. It's where Halliday and Morrow started gregarious games. These days, reality is a bummer. Everyone's looking for a way to escape. And that's why Halliday, that's why he was such a hero to us. He showed us that we could go somewhere without going anywhere at all. You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill with quadraphonic pressure-sensitive underlay. James Halliday saw the future, and then he built it. He gave us a place to go, a place called the Oasis.
Okay, so from there, we've seen a lot of things, right? So, first of all, we need someone to build the platform. At present, there's Meta that's started it, Microsoft is there, and there could be other companies that will be there. There are some older ones that have been in virtual world for some time, and maybe this could be integrated at the end of the day so that we could have something like the internet on it. And then you've seen the main character prior to entering the virtual world. He wore like a gadget, right? Wherein it was like a scanner and it scanned his biometrics probably so that the scanner could identify that person. And then he wore interactive gloves, right? Or maybe right now there are controllers that you can use so that you can also interact with the virtual world. Then he wore some VR glasses or smart glasses to be able to see that environment from there. And then, of course, the optional omnidirectional treadmill so that maybe if he runs or do something, he won't stumble upon his small cramped space, right? So let's move forward and let's see what that next part is.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination. You can do anything. Go anywhere. Like the Vacation Planet. Surf a 50-foot monster wave in Hawaii. You can ski down the pyramids. You can climb Mount Everest with Batman. Check out this place. It's a casino the size of a planet. You can lose your money there. You can get married. You can get divorced. You can can go in there. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be. Tall, beautiful, scary, a different sex, a different species, live action, cartoon. It's all your call. Yeah, that's me. Well, that's my avatar. At least until I feel like changing. Except for eating, sleeping, and bathroom breaks, whatever people want to do, they do it in the Oasis. And since everyone is here, this is where we meet each other. It's where we make friends. Locate H.
Locating H. H located. Sector 12, Planet Doom.
Planet Doom. The most dangerous place in the Oasis. And a pretty great place to pick up coin. Figures H would be there. H is my best friend in the Oasis. He's my best friend, period. Even though I've never actually met him in the real world.
Okay, so that was quite interesting, right? So we saw the virtual world maps in the virtual world. Like there were representatives of real places like the pyramids of Giza, maybe the one with the waves was in Hawaii or something else. So there are also fictional worlds such as the ones that you saw from Minecraft, for example. And the cool thing about that is the avatars, right? The avatar is your representation in the metaverse. And this could be something. This could be you can create your avatar that looks like you or that looks like somebody else, that looks like a scary monster, an animal, whatever you like can be your avatar. And then, of course, your friends will be there. You can have friends with various people in the metaverse, and this will be your virtual friends. And it doesn't matter whether you've met them or haven't met them, similar to what we do right now, right? In social media, you can have friends that you haven't even met, or maybe friends that you're not even actually sure that they're the ones representing that picture, right? And then one particular thing that I'm noting here is when he asked where his friend H is, he asked the platform, "Can you locate H?" for example, and then the platform connected him to H, and then from there they were able to interact. Okay, so we'll leave it at that first, and then we move on to the next slide.
Halliday made sure the Oasis was littered with enough randomly powerful stuff that anyone could win if they had the skills. Death matches and artifact hunts are a good way to coin snatch, but depending on your level of armor, they're risky. You see, everyone starts the same, but the more coin you make, the more you level up. If you get killed, your avatar can come back to life, but you lose all your stuff. Everything you've ever worked for. All your money. Your clothes. Your weapons. Since people spend most of their time in the Oasis, losing shit means, well, losing your
Okay, I had to bleep those out. Okay, so what more do you get there? So you've seen the experience, like when someone gets shot or gets this interaction with the platform, they tend to feel it as well with what they wear, right? With the wearables that they have. And then there was also mention of coins, like the digital assets. Right now in the metaverse, there are various digital assets. It could be virtual real estate, it could be non-fungible tokens, digital artwork, and so on. And people are after these digital assets. And frankly, that's where the fun begins, right? And when I say fun, it could be good fun or it could be bad fun. What are the challenges? Of course, when you look at that platform, the main challenge will be connectivity, right? So this is something that we should be looking at if you want to go into the metaverse world, right? Because at present, just using the present social media channels that we have, we see a high demand for connectivity or for bandwidth, and we can just imagine like the demand for the metaverse or for a virtual world, because otherwise we'll be glitching all over there, right? So that's something that needs to be considered. Another one is cost. Of course, when you go there in that platform, whether as a company or an individual, there is cost involved. For a company, how much do you need to invest to have presence, right? And for the customer or the user, how much will it be to get that biometric device, the goggles, the wearables, and anything else to give you that experience? Remember, it's all about the experience, the enhanced experience that we're getting from the metaverse. That's why all these things are there, right? And of course, when you get all those things, they present new risks, right? Even in our companies, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, our risks were different to what we have now. So looking at the metaverse components that we have, for the customer, for example, you have these wearables. This could be your VR gadgets or whatever sensors. This could present new risks, right? Like, are these hackable? What do they collect, right? And these threats will also be evolving because the cyber criminals will be very interested with getting personal information, for example, or monetizing from the users in metaverse. They could be using something like we see today, deep fakes, okay? They're already out there. The scams are already out there, but can you imagine the scams that will be produced in the metaverse? You're engaging with an avatar, and is there a way for you to validate that, okay, this avatar is actually GSIS that I'm engaging with, or is he a cyber criminal, right? And then there's the thing about privacy. At present, we've been really working hard to protect personal and financial information. We're doing a lot of things to prevent this from going to the hands of the bad guys. But when we go to the metaverse, there's another component that's being added, right? So aside from your personal information, your financial information, other information can now be harvested, including behavioral data, right? What do I mean by behavioral data? If something monitors your avatar daily, for example, and they say that, okay, this avatar has this daily habit, right? So in the morning, he goes to this portal or whatever, he plays virtual golf or whatever, and then hangs out in a virtual cafe, whatever. So this can be profiled, and eventually this can be something that can be used against you, right? So we have to make sure that these things are well regulated. And speaking of that, we go now to the key players for success, right? When you go to the metaverse, I think if you go to the metaverse now, it's still pretty crude. It's still in the, let's say, infancy stage. Maybe 5, 10 years for now, this will evolve into something more detailed, something more rich, right? Something more immersive. But the key players will always be the companies who will want to be there, of course, the stakeholders or our customers, our members, who will also want to be engaging the company in the metaverse. And then there will be the third-party service providers, whether it is the platform provider, whether it is the internet service provider, and so on. They will need to be involved. And finally, it's very important, regulators need to be there as well, right? Will it be NPC? Will it be DICT? Will there be a new agency to do that? What is important is they need to be there. What are the responsibilities of these players, right? For the company, of course, it's for them to do it right. If they want to go to the metaverse, they need to be doing something that will be easily adaptable to their stakeholders or their customers and something easy to use. For us, we have members or stakeholders that are active members. So this will be people in their early 20s up to, say, 65 years old. And then we have pensioners who are, say, 60 years old up to 90 or 100, right? So if they will be engaging us through the metaverse, it will be something that is approachable to them and something that they can easily use. Another important thing will be trust, right? How do we maintain that trust from the current platform that we have into that metaverse? At the moment, I cannot say how, but eventually, hopefully, something will be in place, will be put in place so that this trust will be established. Finally, we need to be transparent. Of course, when we engage our stakeholders with our services, we aim to be transparent always. We collect what we need to process what they need from us, and we deliver excellent service based on that. For the stakeholders, members, or customers, what do we need to do, right? We need to be responsible, right? We need to be aware that this environment will pose risks. We have to manage expectations as well because there might be a time that we go to the metaverse and expect something similar to a movie, and then we see something worse than, say, Nintendo Wii, for example, a 20-year-old console, I think, and maybe the expectation will be quite not matching with what we're expecting, right? And then finally, for the stakeholders to be more cautious, especially when it involves their personal information or financial information. Same with the real world. We do not want criminals to be observing us, observing our patterns, and so on. So, as much as possible, this is something that we should be controlling as well. For the third party service providers, they should always be maintaining trust. What do you mean by maintaining trust? Make sure that you do not snoop on your customers or those using the platform. The users must know like what is collected from them and where is it being used. Next, the platform needs to be reliable, or if it's the internet subscription, it needs to be reliable and fast. And of course, transparency again. Like whatever they get from us, we should be able to know where that is being used. And for the regulators, there must be guidelines for this, right? It won't be similar to Web 2.0, Web 1.0, 2.0, where it's just upon us and there's nothing else that we can do. We have to enforce guidelines, but it will be pretty challenging, right? How will you regulate something that's accessible around the world, right? Who will have jurisdiction over that? So these are things that our regulators need to keep in mind so that when the guidelines are there, they will be something that can be enforceable and can be monitored for compliance. So basically, that is it about the metaverse for us. It's something that we are looking forward to, right? At the same time, it scares me as well, right? Because we all know that while it is inevitable, we must face it head on, but we have to do so with caution. Hopefully, in the coming years, if ever this will be the next big thing or the next big platform for us, we will be able to provide the best experience to our members as well, as similar to the current channels that we are using. That's all, and good afternoon, everyone. Have a good day.